Ow, ow, ow.
And they got a Wanda.
He's dead. Healer dead too. Star-Lord dead. Wanda dead. Raga Raccoon dead. Oh my gosh, I cooked! Doctor Strange dead. Hawkeye dead. Yep. Spider-Man dead. Oh my gosh, we're beaming over here. She's dead. Got her. Ha! Take that, Spidey boy. Ha! Take that, Spidey dumb boy. Venom dead.
She's still out. I thought that shit was
Healer
still out.
dead. Healer dead.
They all
Wanda dead.
The holding hands. I just had all 5 of them. There's.
He's dead. Star-Lord 2. What's going on YouTube? If you see my face on your timeline, you already know what's up. You're going to find the best controller settings for one of the heroes in Marvel Rivals, and today we've got the Punisher. Really love the Punisher, love his playstyle. He's got more movement options than I had thought previously before. The mainstay being when he puts his smoke bomb, it launches you in the air. You can combo that with a few things, and you launch off of this thing. Redirect here and start shooting people with it, as you see in some of my intro clips. That has been a lot of fun. Hitting that, jumping off, and then making people redirect. They assume I'm gonna land somewhere, and then I hit them with that little smoke bomb, launch me back in the air. I think one of those things, I jump back up and I kill a Hawkeye that was previously gonna think that he was gonna be behind cover. But other than that, he needs an accuracy setting. This is the closest character in this game to how I felt when I played Call of Duty. I'm a Call of Duty convert. I used to be addicted. It's like getting off of a hard drug. It feels fantastic. Grass is literally greener on every single other game. That aside, these are going to be my Punisher settings. He was a tricky one, kind of, because he's been different than anyone else. I should have started with the Punisher because he's so easy to learn at the very beginning, but it was nice having him afterwards being someone I was going to try. But 500, 330, bit of a faster sense because I use that zip line a whole lot. That if you have people fighting typically below and above you, this is going to be above 250. If you're usually going to be on the ground, like someone like Mantis, who's always on the ground, she doesn't have a lot of in-air abilities. Punisher barely does, but Mantis would have like a 250. Or someone like, who else is on the ground that isn't melee? Anyone who's on the ground that's melee, like Penny Parker. 250 vertical and then 500 horizontal. Since the Punisher has some of that verticality, we bring this up so that we can snap back down to them, but not as fast as our horizontal sensitivity, because we want that high so that we can flick around and keep our centering. That's what helps with that. Once again, we're using dual zone S curve. He's got a pretty standard one, but this first curve, if you don't know, this first slope is however low this is how slow your sensitivity is going to be. So even though we've got 500 up here, the max sensitivity, I know it looks intimidating, we're not going to feel max sensitivity. The lower this is, the slower your sensitivity is going to feel. So since I have this all the way down on 25, I have low sensitivity tracking like this. See how I'm moving around? It looks like I've got it like normal controller aim. I can actually make these fine adjustments and track people. If I really want to, it's not that hard to do. I see people and but if I want to flick to another target like this, I can use the outside of my stick and flick to other people, which is what only keyboard and mouse players can do. And that's why you get the best of both worlds, Hannah Montana style. So if you try these settings and they're a little bit too fast, make this lower. But what you'll notice that the Punisher has in his settings that are different from every other character that I have covered is that this first slope usually ends around halfway, and then we start a slope up. I extended the Punisher's range out because almost his entire moveset or his entire value is set around tracking, his ability to track and hit his shots. And if you can't hit your shot with Punisher, you're kind of useless. So since that's so important, I reserved way more of my stick here for low sensitivity so I can hit those shots. I can still flick around. Like if I'm using the smoke bomb, I want to be able to get around pretty fast, but it's not crazy, if that makes sense. Especially if I'm getting on this zip line and then coming off, then I want to be able to flick around and hit people, and sometimes in mid-fight I'll hit that. But other than that, I'm going to be using my sense just to be shooting normally. So I reserve most of the inside of my right stick for Punisher specifically. I saw someone just ask me, I've got a different slope for every single character. Does that mess me up? Do I have to get used to it? For the most part, since I'm tailoring these S-curves and sensitivities to each character, and each character has a different playstyle, I'm getting used to the playstyle, not the sensitivity. So if I'm playing Star-Lord, I know that I'm going to be looking up and down all around. So my brain has gotten used to needing that. What I do here is I help these numbers translate what I think my guy should be doing when I do something on my controller into the game. If I go to Star-Lord and I go flick to something and I'm too far, I lower it. If it's not far enough, I increase it. So I'm tailoring it with everything, so it doesn't get weird going from S-curve to S-curve. All of these as a whole are getting changed to a collective centering of I want all of them to perform about the same way, and each character needs different settings to do that consistent thing in the center. So if that didn't make sense, tell me to explain it better in my next video in the comments. But if it did make sense, thank you for speaking *ease, and hopefully I help you understand. But if you see these settings, you try them, and you have, for example, I have foam around my stick and a thumbstick extender. That helps me with this high sense stuff. If it is too fast for you, before you touch any of the sensitivity stuff at the top, please go down to minimum curve statics right here and lower this. The lower you make this, the slower the sense is going to be for that inside of your controller. And I want you to reserve the inside of your right stick for the slower sense and keep the outside for flicking, because it helps you stay competitive against people that are using a mouse. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, so give it some time. Give it like 3 games, and then if you still hate it, you can go back to something like, then you can actually take 100 off of both of these and actually play a lower sense. And this will all still be beneficiary. You can keep all of this the way it is, and then lower your base sense. I would go 100 first, so 400, and then 230, and then go 10 from there every time, and then go into the range and see how far back you have to go before it feels comfortable. But I would start off with all of this even if you have no controller attachments, because I feel like this is the most competitive. The first thing I would do is this maximum input dead zone. If it feels like you start your flick around your fast sensitivity too soon, bring this purple part like around here, like bring it all the way back out. That's the only way that my foam actually affects how my numbers are. It's this purple ring. I only have to push it to here instead of pushing it all the way out here. It improves your response time, real time, in reaction to things that other people do, because you don't have to push as far to react. But if you're finding you don't have enough real estate to separate the slow sense and the fast sense, push this out farther, which will push this out farther, which will reserve more of it for slow sense. So you have more of your stick for slow sense, and it'll make it feel a little bit slower overall, just gives you more real estate. So that's another option if they don't feel right. If you do all of those and it still feels bad, let me know in the comments. I will be reading my comments every time someone comments right now. Right now it's at a rate where I feel like I can respond to everyone. So leave me a question and I will respond in depth. I pride myself on how I'm responding. So I feel like I'm getting pretty in depth in my responses. I hate when I watch a tutorial video and I put them in and I still feel like I can't play the game I really, really want to play, especially if I'm on a controller, because nothing makes sense. And you should just be able to pick up a controller and play, because most players play on controller, because most players are on console. So it's so frustrating when you just can't do what you want your character to do. So give me a chance in the comments and I'll try and explain what you're confused about. Here are the rest of my settings for the Punisher. These are my reticle settings. Excuse me. I have that green dot. The green dot is great for the Punisher because he is a shooter and tracking is everything. So I like not a super skinny tiny dot, but big enough where I can see it in contrast to people who are far away if I'm trying to apply pressure. Other than that, here are these settings. Another big thing I touch on in every single video: make sure your jump button on your controller is an A or something that makes you lift your thumb off the right stick and hit a jump button. You need to be able to jump and use your right and left stick at the exact same time so that you can jump and track, not just jump and then track. So that's something that I've seen some people in my comments say, oh crap, I didn't know that. And I had initially thought most people knew that, which was stupid of me because I have to change that. So definitely give that some thought. That immediately, if you're looking for a setting or something that'll immediately make you better, that is how, because mechanically it gives you an advantage. So you need to buy, it doesn't have to be left bumper, can be a back paddle if you have them, but it needs to be a button that doesn't make you lift your thumbs off of the sticks, because that lets you move and aim at the same time as being in the air, which just immediately makes you more competitive. So make sure you do that. Everything else is preference based. If you want to copy my settings, by all means do it. I have 2 paddles on the back. Left paddle is X, right paddle is Y. And just in case you want to copy and paste even those, so I try to include those when I do that. And then those are my settings for the Punisher. Hopefully this helped you out. If you really like the Punisher, he's a great introductory character to the game if you're just starting out, especially if you play other shooters. This is a good way to play with your friends who are telling you to get Marvel Rivals, and pick up someone you're going to be used to, because there's a lot of shooters out there, especially third-person shooters, and this is going to be the good dip your toe in the water and realize, oh, it's pretty warm, I want to learn someone else. Or you main him. He's fantastic for that as well. But hopefully this helped you out. If it did, let me know in the comments. If it didn't, tell me why it didn't. And if you appreciate this style of content, leave a like, sub, really helps. Again, you're probably noticing I'm wearing this crazy outfit in most of my most recent videos. That is because I recorded the videos for this week all in one night. I am on vacation in South America, so I'm going to have nothing but time to respond to your comments. So do not worry if you're asking me to type out a lot. I've got plenty of time. I'll be back right before Season 1, and I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.